It's finally here, the game we've all been waiting for. All Blacks versus France to kick off the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Kia ora, I'm Sherry Kinnear and this is Beyond the Game. I'm joined by Newstalk ZB rugby commentator Elliot Smith. Elliot, how does it feel to finally be here heading into this highly anticipated match?
Oh, look, it's been 4 years since the last World Cup. It didn't end well for the All Blacks, we all know that. They've got unfinished business from 2019. A lot of those players are back this time around. We've had a global pandemic to deal with. We've had all sorts of questions about this All Blacks team in 2022. They had to change their assistant coaches. And then just the build-up this year. So it has been a long process to get to kick off for this game, but very much looking forward to it. You know, France, home nation, top team in the world against the All Blacks, one of the traditional powerhouses of world rugby. This is going to be a really special occasion.
It does feel a bit like a long time coming, and head coach Ian Foster was quizzed on how he felt about the build-up. Here's what he had to say.
This game's special in its own right, I reckon. You know, I think out of my third World Cup, I've never seen a build-up for a game like this one. I've never seen people put so much on it. I think the fact that it's a home nation who have got strong expectations of winning it. Their public have got strong expectations of winning it, and it's against a team that I sense that the public's got a lot of respect for. So it's well scripted, but at the end of the day, it's a game we want to go and commit everything to, and afterwards, it doesn't really change whether we win or whether we lose. We've still got to qualify out of this group.
Some bold words there from the head coach. Now, just 2 weeks ago, we'll remember the All Blacks' devastating loss to South Africa. You were there and you've been following the team as well since then. Where do you think this All Blacks side's at, and are they ready to beat and play France?
Well, they've been quick to play it down, I think, the whole way through, saying, yes, it was a record loss, but a lot of things didn't go their way. They had Scott Barrett red-carded in the match. They couldn't quite get into their rhythm. There were things they were pleased about during the game, but I think it's one that they've just moved on from, taken some lessons from it, and they don't believe it's going to affect the way they play in this opening game. They're pretty confident in the way that they've been building through the year, especially the first 3 tests, winning the Rugby Championship, the Bledisloe Cup as well. So it's a matter of not throwing everything out just because they lost, but taking some lessons out of it. And the All Blacks have been quick to play down that defeat in the context of this World Cup and believing that they're in the right space as we head into this tournament.
You were also at the team announcement the other day. Anything from those selections that surprised you?
Yeah, I think I was surprised to see Dalton Papali'i on the blind side. We didn't pick that. Luke Jacobson seemed to be the obvious pick, with Shannon Frizzell still out injured for at least a couple more weeks. So Luke Jacobson seemed the obvious pick there. Dalton Papali'i hasn't played a lot of blind side in his time, so he's playing out of position. That's a change for the All Blacks. Geordie Barrett being ruled out is a blow for the All Blacks. He's been really, really good since he took on that second 5 jersey last year. And they just don't have a like-for-like replacement in Anton Leonard-Brown, so they're losing some size, some power in the midfield. Leonard-Brown, very good player, good distributor, but he's not the kind of player that Geordie Barrett is. So the All Blacks will have to change the way they attack in this opening game, and that is obviously a loss for them. So those are the 2 big surprises for me.
And Geordie Barrett joins a number of other injured All Blacks as well. How much is that going to impact the side? Yeah,
it wouldn't be the ideal scenario opening the tournament with, 4 injured players, plus their Moni Narawa, who's now going home from the Rugby World Cup. So they've got 4 in camp who are injured and another that's heading home. So not the start that Ian Foster and his selectors would have wanted, having such a casualty ward at this stage of the tournament. There are players that they can move into positions, if we talked about Dalton Papali'i, etc., to cover some of those issues. But the good news is for the All Blacks, they've got a big break coming up during pool play. It's really, assuming they qualify, of course, for the quarterfinals onwards, when they need their top team on the park, ready to go to win those big knockout games.
When we look at France, what can we expect from them? Where do their strengths lie? And will they be potentially capitalising off the fact that we've got a number of injured players?
Well, so do they. They've got a lot of injured players too. So neither side is fielding what you consider their first choice 15 in this opening game. But at France, it revolves around their captain, their halfback, Antoine Dupont. He's such a good player, I think the best player in the world, and he can just, the way that he plays dictates the way that France plays. So the All Blacks will want to shut him down as much as they can in this opening game. They'll have all sorts of strategies to try and lessen the time that he gets on the ball or the speed he gets to the ball and disrupting his impact on the game. If they can do that, then they'll go a long way to winning this opening game. But France, they've always had the flair. We've always talked about that being the French way, the flair. Now they've got some direction, some structure to their game. They're really dangerous. And at home, the pressure or they could either use that or it could come crashing down for them. I think they'll use that. I think they're a really good team and are really going to be hard to stop in this opening game and throughout the tournament.
Just quickly, what are you picking for the result?
I've wavered throughout the whole week, Cherie. I think at the moment I'm going France by 4 points.
France!
Yeah. Look, give me in 5 minutes' time and it might be the All Blacks. I think it's going to be a really close game. I hope it is. I hope it's the kind of game that really sets this tournament alight and we look back on it as a really top game. So I think it could go either way, but at this point in time, I'm saying France by 4.
I think either way, as you said, it is going to be a massive, massive game. Thank you so much for your insight. Elliot, you can watch that game live 7:15 Saturday morning, All Blacks versus France. You can follow all of the action at nzherald.co.nz. You can also follow along with Elliot Smith's commentary on Newstalk ZB, Gold Sport and iHeartRadio. Well, that's it from us for now on the ground. We'll be back post-match to unpack everything that unfolds. We'll see you then on Beyond the Game. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald. Click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.